Hi, my name is Amy Carter, and I actually decided to go into the construction management field because my background is in real estate. For a number of years I've worked for different builders and for different real estate agents that did a lot of real estate development and new home construction, and I was always very interested in that part of it. I did sales and I liked the sales, but it wasn't my thing. I was in the real estate field for 13 years, and in those 13 years I was laid off 5 times, and every time I was always really lucky getting another job. And this last time with my 5th layoff, we actually decided, I'm going to have to do something different. I'm going to continue that as soon as things get tight. The management part of the real estate office is the first people to cut. They just downsize immediately. And so I decided, what else can I do with what I've learned and what I've enjoyed with watching houses go up, and I decided construction management was the way to go. Right now I'm just finishing up a class on print reading, so I'm learning. When I first started to go to take the class, I thought, I'm just going to learn to read blueprints, and this class is going to be super easy, no problem. But it's actually a lot about, they go over the nuts and bolts of how to build a project, how to build every single aspect of it, so you understand fully when you're reading a set of blueprints, everything that went into a set of blueprints coming together. I'm also taking a building codes class, which is a lot of very cut and dry information, but tells you about what the rules are that you have to follow to build a safe building. So that's what building codes are there for, is to make a building safe. And the other construction type of class that I'm taking right now is on site management. So that's pretty obvious. It's how to manage a construction site as the project is going along. There are some advantages to being a female in that I have the personal interaction skills that some of the guys tend to lack. They don't have the warm and fuzzy feeling, and being able to relate to others. They're just very cut and dry. They just want the information. They want it now. They don't care about your problems. They don't care what's going on. They just want the problem solved. And so it's been good being a female in that I've seen so far. And also I'm learning, but people do honestly cut me a little bit of slack because I'm a female, and then they're just surprised and impressed that I do know the things that I do and that I am on top of it and I'm able to learn. I haven't been given a whole lot of trouble about it, that I shouldn't be trying to do this or anything like that. People have been really encouraging. My interest in real estate, I really like architecture. I really like history a lot, so I love old buildings, and so I've actually decided to focus after I'm done with school to actually go into historic property restoration, rehabilitation, and preservation field. So I'm able to kind of marry some of my personal interests with professional ones.
My name's Joanne Ferguson, and I started in the Carpenters Union in 1979. We went to school, and then we had to have the hours on the job. Let's see, my first job, actually my dad kind of helped me get in the union. He was a superintendent for Pilcher and Ferguson up in Puyallup. And he says, well, there's not too many women in the trades right now, so we'll put you out there in the field and see what you think. So he put me out there with this old man down on the tide flats, and I came from Oklahoma, so the tide flats, they stunk really bad. I didn't like it. He put me on this job where it was muddy, and it was just miserable, and it was in the winter. And so he dropped me off with this old man, and this old man, he tried to give me the worst jobs he could possibly find. He put me in the holes, digging and everything, digging out a form that was buried like 2 feet in mud. And then my dad later and stuff, he'd come by and pick me up, take me to lunch. But, Joe, he didn't like that too much. But he couldn't say nothing because my dad was his boss. When I first started out with my dad, after I told him I wanted to stay in construction, he would take me to a bigger job site. And then he took me into the trailer, and he says, first thing you got to do is you got to learn everything in this trailer, including every nail that's on that shelf. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to learn all this stuff. What am I in for? And that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. So, but it was. I learned, my dad was my mentor. I have learned so much through him. Come to the job early, leave late. He taught me how to read the blueprints. He taught me how to run jobs successfully, how to put the schedules together. And I decided to take construction management for retraining purposes because it's best to stick with what you know. You know, I am older, and I do got a few years left. I still can think pretty good for myself, as last time I checked. But so I decided to stick a little bit with what I kind of already know instead of retraining from the very beginning. Memorization of words and stuff, they just don't work for me. You give me a number though, boy, I can remember a measurement forever. Being a female in the field, I've come across a few obstacles as far as, well, I've always had to feel like I had to prove myself, but I talked to some guys and they say that they always got to prove themselves too when they come to the job, but I always felt that I had to prove myself more. So when I graduate, I'm hoping to get just on with a small little company, small job. I'm not after the great big job and the great big money. I'm just after just want to just contribute something to society, to a nice little company, and hopefully be able to make them some money and get them to go somewhere. That's my plan.